Hey everyone, we'll kick it off now. Let people filter in. My name is Brennan. I'm one of the co-founders of WholeCell, and welcome to our Feature Friday webinar series. Today, I'm really excited to be doing it with a bunch of folks from the team at Back Market. So today on this webinar, we're going to be talking about how WholeCell's Back Market integration works and how it works for sellers to use. And the team at Back Market is going to give you guys an overview of Back Market for sellers and what getting signed up looks like, what the after sign up support looks like, and so forth. We've got chat over here on the right, so use the chat for any questions that you have, and we'll kind of probably just bounce back and forth. We've got some moderators that can answer chat. Hey, Mohammed, and we may call out the chats and questions that we get throughout the webinar and answer them live. So at that, we'll get started. So just an overview of who's presenting today. Obviously, you've got me, the co-founder of WholeCell. I'm typically the one presenting these, but we've got an armada of folks from Back Market that I'm really excited to be here with. We've got Cedric Auger, who's the head of global supply partnerships, Natalie Tesfaye, who's the new business development and onboarding lead. So I assume you're going to be working with Natalie quite a lot if you're getting started and if we connect you with them. Lindsey, who we've known for a while and have kind of got us connected to Back Market and is their new business development manager. And Pierre, I don't think is on the call today. I'm not sure, but he may be joining late, but he's one of their product managers that helps us get our integration configured and set up just right for handling your orders and when we have questions about things that are and how they're being processed. That's who we're going to go to. So thank you all for being with me here today again. For anyone that's joined the call and is not intimately familiar with what WholeCell is, I'd like to just give a very brief overview. WholeCell is an e-commerce inventory management system that was designed specifically for device resellers. So we come from a background of buying and selling used devices, and we know the problems that are associated with that. And so we built an inventory platform that now connects to all these e-commerce platforms like Back Market that is specifically designed for used devices. So WholeCell has things that you won't see in other inventory systems, like the concept of grades and specific damage conditions that you can associate with the inventory that you have, and then use the power of that to connect to all these different e-commerce platforms that you sell on. And so it's a single hub to connect your inventory to your e-commerce platforms. Hey there, Seth. Hey, Natalie. WholeCell has a lot of features that are specific to device resellers, like IMEI scanning and fulfillment, along with just the concepts of those grades and damage conditions. And as I've been mentioning, it's got powerful integrations with folks like Back Market, eBay, Swappa, so those channels, as well as business apps that wholesalers use, like Phone Check and ShipStation for managing shipments and so forth. So it's a suite to connect all of your inventory to your channels that you sell it on. What does WholeCell do for Back Market sellers, and how does our integration work? So if you're a WholeCell seller and you've been using our Back Market integration, you're familiar with this, but for folks who haven't, I just want to go over the core things that our integration with Back Market does, and thanks to the folks up top here for making this possible. So if you connect your Back Market seller account to your WholeCell account, the critical thing that it does, and the way that it saves people a lot of time, is that it's constantly syncing your listing quantities with your inventory. So once you get your products mapped in WholeCell, so you've got your product catalog and you map those to the listings that you have on Back Market, you're going to be constantly syncing from WholeCell to Back Market and vice versa, what inventory you have available to be listed in your listings. And that's going to basically, if you've got someone doing that manually now, they're constantly looking at your inventory, looking at your spreadsheet, going over to your e-commerce channels and adjusting the quantities of the different listings. And that's a whole person's job as you scale your business and have more and more inventory. So WholeCell is talking to Back Market every few minutes and keeping your inventory quantities in sync. So if you add more inventory to WholeCell, your listings get bumped up on Back Market. If you sell some items on Back Market, that comes back into WholeCell and creates orders, and that reduces your total available quantity of inventory. And so that gets spread out across all the other channels that you sell on as well. So that's how it works. The other thing that WholeCell does is it brings in your orders from Back Market automatically for fulfillment. So obviously fulfillment is the bigger you grow, the bigger a challenge it is to fulfill all the orders that you have from different channels. And our Back Market integration brings orders directly in from Back Market for you to fulfill. And again, because it's WholeCell is serialized, it's fulfilling these items by IMEI, which is going to be important here in a second. So WholeCell also keeps your tracking information synced between ShipStation, WholeCell, and Back Market. So for folks that already use ShipStation and have that in their workflow, that becomes really easy. WholeCell keeps track of the tracking number that comes from ShipStation and shares it with Back Market, so it gets shared with your customers as they buy your inventory. And then this last piece here that I want to touch on specifically is the fact that WholeCell already exports your IMEIs as you fulfill single item orders over to Back Market, and Back Market is requiring this for all sellers come January 2022. So this is a big deal if you're selling on Back Market and you don't have a system or workflow right now for putting in your IMEIs of the devices that you're shipping out to customers when you fulfill orders. WholeCell does this automatically as you fulfill your orders that come in from Back Market. So that's a big piece, and I'm just going to explain this a little bit more thoroughly. When you fulfill your orders, you can see kind of my graphic down here that inventory gets synced with Back Market listings, then Back Market orders come back to WholeCell, and then when you ship those orders, the shipments go to Back Market. And the one thing we should kind of be showing here is that when the shipments go back to Back Market from WholeCell, we are sending the IMEI of the device that you or your inventory team scanned onto that order. So when you fulfill an order in WholeCell, you're scanning the specific IMEI of the device that you're shipping out. And the reason that I assume the Back Market team is implementing this is it solves a ton of problems. It creates transparency. It allows your customers to know what IMEI they're receiving. It allows the Back Market folks to check the IMEI to make sure it's not been reported lost or stolen. And if you ever get a return, you know now which device your customer should be sending back, which you can process through WholeCell's RMA feature. But it allows you to see, okay, we did send this specific IMEI to this customer on this order. So it creates a ton of transparency. And because of that, excuse me, Back Market is requiring their sellers to fulfill IMEIs with all of their sales in 2022. I'll let them talk about that a little bit more, but so everyone knows WholeCell has been doing this for the last few months, and it already happened. So if you're looking for a way to meet that requirement, you may want to start a trial with us. And at that, I'll hand it over to probably Cedric.
Thank you. So hi everyone, thanks for joining the webinar. I'm going to go over some quick overview of our company, starting with a few important metrics that show our fast but sustainable growth. So since the creation of Back Market in 2014, we are now present in 16 countries, with France, United Kingdom, Germany, Spain, and the US being the most predominant market so far. Our network of sellers is over 1,500 partners, so refurbishers, which gives each of them obviously like a great visibility and buy box opportunities. Lastly, our comfortable funding rounds enables us to support the growth and our ambition of growth for the marketplace, but also for our sellers and partners. And I will get back to that in a few. Can you change the slide, Brennan, because I think when I'm changing it, it's actually get me off the perfect. Thank you. So as you can see, with our 20 million visit per month on our marketplace globally, and only 1,500 merchant sellers, as I mentioned earlier, it's like our sellers get much more visibility than on some competing platform. And another benefit to sell on Back Market is to be able to easily expand your business by leveraging our global coverage and ongoing geographical expansion. Because again, we are growing very fast. I mean, I've joined the company 6 months ago, and we've added like 4 countries already. And as you can see, it's like the growth of the GMV is pretty impressive. We've done like 50x since almost like the creation of the company in 2016. Next slide, please. Something also very particular to Back Market are the in-house services we've been developing over the years to obviously facilitate sellers to connect to our marketplace and optimize the operational flow and customer satisfaction ultimately, which is of course our goal at the end of the day. And like our, we have also shipping automation like Backship, a fulfillment solution with FBBM, so fulfilled by a Back Market. And we have also customer support services with a Back Care, or like the next slide shows, like our refurbishing as a service, so RaaS. That's more like targeting not refurbishers or sellers, but more like B2B companies and telcos who are interested in like pushing some of their supply into the D2C channel of Back Market. So that's the next slide. So that was basically the refurbishing as a service I was just talking about. Next slide, please. And yeah, so that's talking about the comfortable funding that's really enabling us to push aggressive and bold marketing campaigns throughout the different regions we are present in. And the next slide as well is going to show you different media coverage. And next slide. And something that's, again, the strength of Back Market, something very important for us and for me, because I'm in charge of the global supply partnerships. It's really, the success of Back Market is based on an extensive network of high quality partners from brands like GoPro, Apple, Dyson, and again, we're adding brands almost on a weekly basis right now. And solution providers, obviously, like WholeCell.io, because without order management and solution providers, we are not in a position to really facilitate and optimize the operational flow of our sellers. So thanks again for our partners and WholeCell in this case to enable us to do that. And we're always on the lookout to add new companies to our ecosystem. So yeah, thanks for again WholeCell to organize this webinar. And now I'm going to pass the mic to Natalie, who's going to give you a quick summary of all the reasons why you should join a Back Market, and what also the process is to become an approved seller on Back Market. So without further ado, go ahead, Natalie.
Perfect. All right. Good morning, everybody, and thank you so much for joining us. We're super excited to be here with you guys. And as Cedric was just explaining, Back Market is going to great lengths to differentiate ourselves from the other online marketplaces that you guys have available to sell on. We're doing so with those services that he just covered, but in a couple of other ways that I just want to lay out for you guys. So first, on the sales side. So we're the only marketplace specifically dedicated to refurbished and renewed electronics in the US. And you can see on our website that each and every listing has one buy box associated with it, rather than hundreds, if not thousands, for every listing created for that product. And this allows us to funnel sales into one buy box and increase the velocity of that seller who is on that buy box, rather than having a catalog that's a little bit messy where customers have thousands of options to look at. So this allows you to drive more consistent sales, and it's a really significant reward if you're on the buy box. So the next piece that kind of is related to that, it's on visibility. So right now we only have 1,500 sellers, and we have over 20 million monthly visits to our website. So there are tons of opportunities for you guys to earn buy boxes and to be the exclusive seller of that product while you're on that buy box. Next, and I think my favorite part about Back Market, since my background is in account management, working with our biggest accounts that we've had on the platform for the past year and a half, is the support and quality guidance you get from our team. I think this is a huge differentiator for us, but you guys will have human beings to work with and talk to throughout your experience with Back Market. You're not going to be just calling a phone line that nobody answers or sending emails to an inbox that is not actually monitored by anybody. You'll get to work directly with our new business developers like Lindsey when you're getting started with us. Then you'll be passed to our onboarding manager, Hugo, who has been at the company for years and will help you guys scale your business's sales and quality as you're getting started with us. And after that, you'll have access to our account management team and who will be able to work directly one-on-one with you to help you really grow your sales. And that sort of white glove assistance and support is really what's allowing our sellers to scale very quickly. And it's the reason why our sellers are 3xing their sales year over year with us right now. Next is the free marketing. So Back Market, I'm not sure if you guys have typed in the phrase use MacBook or use smartphone or anything related to our industry into Google, but one of the first results you're always going to see is from Back Market. We are spending heavily in our SEO and our Google AdWords and shopping. And that's why we're bringing 20 million people to our website every month. And you're not going to have to pay anything extra to be a part of these bold marketing campaigns that we're doing. And so not only are we doing SEO, but we're also doing offline marketing in major cities across the world. We're on TikTok, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're wherever the customers are. And again, you don't have to pay anything extra to get that sort of visibility or that marketing boost with us. That's folded into the 10% commission. Next, the market expansion. Cedric was just telling you guys that we are active in 16 countries around the world. We added 4 in just the 6 months that he joined us. And we have 45% cross-border transactions across those 16 countries. And your sales into those other countries will be supported by the seller tailor-made services that Cedric just covered, like our back care service, which will allow you to provide customer care in the markets across the country, across the world that we're working in each language that the customers are actually speaking in that country. So it'll make your life a lot easier if you're looking to expand outside of our US market, maybe jump into France, Germany, etc. And then last, the fraud and chargeback protection. So we only do refurbished electronics. And so we are very, very familiar with the different sorts of creative scams that customers might try to pull in the e-commerce space. And I'm sure you guys know that better than anybody. And so through our partnership with Signified, Back Market covers all sellers against any fraudulent payments and increases the approval transaction rate as customers are coming through our website and driving sales to your stores. And so I see a question on the side here. It says, how do you win the buy box? So that's a great question, Ben. So our buy box is determined by an algorithm that is looking at the best price of the product along with the best quality of the product. All of our sellers are going to be monitored across about 15 different quality related KPIs. Those KPIs are broken into 3 verticals, which are delivery, product quality, and customer service. Your performance across those APIs is going to be aggregated into one overall quality score. Each seller has a quality score based on their quality performance. And you guys will be competing based on that to earn the buy box. So the seller with the higher quality score will have a higher sale price on their buy box and therefore have more opportunities to earn that buy box and get more visibility from customers. And what we're looking to do is always reward our sellers who are performing very well on quality, because at the end of the day, what we know is that 60% of our customers are buying a refurbished device for the very first time. We're stealing market share from new products, and we're convincing that customer who for the past 10 years has just been walking into the Apple store or into the Samsung store to come into Back Market for the first time. And so all of the quality is the absolute most important thing to your success on Back Market. And at the end of the day, that's what we want. That's what we're going to do to get customers coming back to the renewed space and buying products from you guys 5 years in the future, 10, 20, 30, and as we go on. I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next slide. So we have some, of course, seller terms and conditions that you guys are going to need to review before you join Back Market. Of course, our terms and conditions, along with our quality charter, govern all interactions between our sellers and our customers. You can view our quality charter through this deck, and you can also find out more when you reach out to us and you connect with a new biz. We'll give you that quality charter, of course, to review and be available to answer any questions that you might have. We do require all sellers to offer prompt customer service and give customers a message response within 24 hours. I mean, you guys know better than anybody that we live in the world that Amazon created. Customers are expecting their deliveries to be on time, and they're expecting to get an answer for an issue nearly immediately. And so if you don't want to opt into our back care service and allow us to cover your customer service for you, we're going to require that you are responding to all customers within 24 hours and are doing so with prompt, relevant, and kind answers to the questions. Next thing, we're looking for all sellers to ship within 1 day of receiving an order. As of right now, the battery life thresholds on the marketplace is 80% minimum, and that number is going to be moving to 85% come next quarter. So next, we have a 10% flat sales commission. This includes payment processing fees and fraud checks. We do also allow our sellers to offer PayPal if that's what they'd like to do. And we also require that our sellers offer Affirm on orders that are over $250. I'm sure you guys are very familiar with Affirm. It is the leading payment and installments provider in the nation. And we've been working with them for the past several months to allow our customers to have different payment methods and open up Back Market to people with different socioeconomic levels. And that's been a huge driver of success on our platform. And if you look anywhere online, Affirm is a very, very common option. I'm going to pause really quickly. I see another question from Ben. how much is using back care to not handle customer service. So for most sellers who are getting started with us, back care is going to be about $199 per order line. What I mean by that is when you guys get a new order from a customer, if they when they open up a chat with you guys or ask a question, our back care team will cover all of the customer service and all interactions with that customer from start to finish. And that will be at $199 per order line, regardless of how many messages the customer sends. If they send you 2 messages, they send you 15 messages. If they buy 1 product or if they buy 3 in their order, either way, you'll be paying that rate. And as time goes on, what's going to determine your pricing on back care is your contact rate. And the contact rate, of course, is just measuring how often are customers actually getting in touch with you. And at the end of the day, what's going to really drive that contact rate is the quality of your products. So, you know, the ball is really in your court to make sure that you guys are offering great quality, which is going to limit the amount of after sales transactions. And the reason why sellers join back care, outside of the fact that it allows them to have a much smoother launch and experience with back market, but that buy box that I mentioned to you guys a moment ago, your buy box score is going to be driven by your different KPIs. Of course, your after sales KPIs weigh very heavily in that algorithm. So if you have a great performance on your customer satisfaction rate, because you're using back care and you're using our team of experts, then you're more likely to have a great customer satisfaction score, which will in turn raise your quality score, which will in turn help you make more money. $1.99 per order, Ben, is the starting rate for most sellers. But then that price will then be determined by your contact rate once you are able to actually make some sales and generate quality, so we can actually measure what your contact rate is in the first place. Perfect, Ben. If you have any more questions, just let me know. Next, we require that our sellers honor a 30-day buyer remorse returns, and this is extended during the holiday season. We know that 2 of the main reasons our customers are converting on our website is because we offer that 30-day return, as well as a 12-month limited defect warranty, which essentially makes the experience of buying on back market the exact same experience of buying new. And that is the key for us, is to make it almost a no-brainer for any customer who has never bought a refurbished electronic device before, because that's how we actually grow the market for you guys and make sure that a circular economy is something that is sustainable in the US. Next, I just mentioned this, we're looking for sellers to repair or replace defective items within 12 months of sale. We require free and expedited shipping options. And we also pay our sellers out via ACH payout every 10 days. So on the 6th, 16th, and the 26th. And then lastly, we're of course going to require that you sign our seller terms and conditions. I see some comments on the right. Who is paying for the shipping for the 30-day? So if the customer is making a return within those 30 days and there's nothing wrong with the device, it's not defective in any way, then the customer will be paying for that prepaid shipping label. I hope that answers your question, Nick. Next, hi, is that 12-month not fair to sellers? So super fair point. I'm very glad that you asked, because it's interesting when you look at how many customers are actually using that 12-month warranty and when customers actually open customer service tickets. And of course, we collect all of that data. And when you look at it broken down by smartphone sales, by core electronic sales, meaning laptops and desktops and other computers and tablets, what you find is that 93% of the customer service requests that customers send to sellers are being opened within the first 90 days. And I know that a lot of you sellers are comfortable with that and are now have sold on other marketplaces that offer a 90-day warranty. That is essentially how ours is functioning on the website, because you can imagine customers know whether or not the device is working within those first 30 days, and certainly within those first 90 days. So again, at the end of the day, what we find is that 93% of the customer service tickets are being opened in the first 90 days, not in the latter 9 months of the 12-month warranty. And so that's really a tool that we use to convert sellers, which is why we're growing so quickly, convert customers, which is why we're growing so quickly as a marketplace. But in reality, it doesn't end up being much different from your experience selling on different marketplaces. And that's the reason why we have sellers fully ramped on our platform doing between $1 and $3 million a month with these things in place, because the reality of the situation is that a customer knows if a device works within the first 90 days. Okay. Okay, so it looks like a comment from Josh, a little bit more of a comment than a question. And he's saying that margins are not the best, but it comes down to volume that makes up for it. We have sold 2,400 devices on Back Market so far, not a paid sponsored ad. That's right, Josh. And we appreciate you saying that. And I feel like that's a comment really encapsulates what a lot of our sellers feel about the platform. Is that the volume, being the only seller on that buy box, is allowing you to drive your sales much quicker than you could on any other marketplace. How do we sign up for Back Care? Great question. So when you're in talks with your new business developer who's walking you through the details of the platform, you just let them know that you're interested in using Back Care. You'll send an email to our Back Care team saying, hey, I'd like to opt into this service. And then we turn it on for you like that. Another question. If a customer claims the item to be defective, but a phone check certificate proves otherwise, why do we have to eat the cost of the site 10% commission? Fair question. 2 points that immediately come to mind. One, we're spending pretty heavily on converting these customers and earning their trust. Like I said, our mission of a marketplace is not to steal customers from Amazon or steal customers from eBay. It's to convert the customers that are walking into the Apple store and walking into the Samsung store every single day. And that's not easy. And so we need to be compensated for that. That's what we do, is we facilitate a sale between you and a customer who wants to buy your devices. The second thing that I'll say, Ariel, is that we're very familiar with phone check at Back Market. We have a partnership with phone check, and we know that sellers can make changes to the thresholds on phone check and essentially control whether or not their devices are passing or failing. And so we know that phone check is not foolproof, and we are still partnered with them. So we know the ins and outs of how that product works, and a phone check certificate is not always enough, which is why we're actually moving to implement the IMEI collection next quarter. It's meant to protect our sellers and allow us to more effectively vouch for you when a customer claims that a device is defective, but the IMEI record clearly shows otherwise. So we've got more coming in there, Ariel. We know a lot about phone check and Blanco and other software diagnostic tools. And we're only going to make it easier for sellers to demonstrate that they followed what they were supposed to do, and they're making good on their promises to customers. Great. Battery health for iPhone is a major concern. Is there a solution for Back Market instead of shipment to seller, repair, and replace? So I'd say that's what Cedric mentioned a moment ago. Our refurbishment as a service, I think, is the most relevant here. I'm not fully sure what the question is, but generally speaking, what we want a seller to do is, of course, test the device. If battery health is below 85%, sell that on a different marketplace. If Solids, I'm not sure if I fully answered your question. So if you want to expand, please feel free. Josh, as Apple locks down repairs even more, how are you addressing with customers up front when they receive a device that may show that notification? So on our website, we're doing quite a bit of education around customers and helping them understand how our sellers are actually providing these repairs, what sort of parts that they're using. And I think we make clear on the website that our sellers are asked to be making repairs, but we don't expect them to use OEM parts in every single repair. And so if a customer was to open up a customer service ticket and you are with Back Care, you can guarantee that our Back Care team is going to make sure that the customer understands that, points them to where we mentioned that on our website, and to decrease the chance of a return. Because at the end of the day, Josh, what our Back Care team is trying to do through every single interaction is avoid a return. We know one of the biggest things that's going to determine whether or not a customer comes back to Back Market is whether or not that device works and whether or not it gets to them on time. And we will do everything we can and a cancellation. So we will do everything we can to save that sale and keep the customer on Back Market. Good question. Yep, 7, 8 plus will drop more aggressively, even when sold at 85%, may not retain 12 months. That's actually a really great point, Salad. And so you'll notice in our seller support center, or if you are interacting with one of our new biz, there are some devices that we have prohibited for sale on the marketplace. Older devices like the ones that you mentioned, we're going to have aggressive battery drops, we're going to have outdated bands on them and can't connect to the networks that customers are using commonly. So we ask our sellers not to actually sell a lot of the older iPhone models, older than the iPhone 7, for example, on our marketplace. And so your account manager or your onboarding manager can help you make sure that you develop a catalog that's going to allow you to play to your strengths and actually win on our buy box based on quality. And more, you would like to know more on the refurbishment as a service and how much it costs. I'll pass that to Cedric in just a moment. Cedric, if you want to note that question, but we're going to go ahead and move on to this next slide here, which is going to be from Lindsey.
It's great that you guys are so engaged. So just to talk about if you're interested in Back Market and becoming a seller with us, what it takes to set up an account. So it's pretty simple. Most of this stuff just takes around 20 minutes to get it all done. You need to add all your company information, the name you want to go by, who your customer care rep who's going to get emails about orders coming in and fulfilling those orders, add all that information. Add your payment bank account of where you want the money to go directly, and sign up and add information for PayPal if you want to use that. Read over our quality charter, which kind of lists a bunch of different situations of, oh, it's a 30-day and the customer wants to return, what do you do? So kind of familiarize yourself with our marketplace, make sure that if you have any questions that they're answered. And then we ask you to complete like a quick little questionnaire just to make sure you have that understanding. Add shipping options. So we ask you to offer one free shipping option that's around 3 days for iPhones and laptops, and then one that's expedited, that's a next day shipping option. And then also to create, to basically add all your catalog to our site, add the more SKUs, the better. And we have a free listing service provider that makes this super easy for you. So all you need to do is either download all your SKUs from your inventory management service or another marketplace that you're selling on, send it to a new business developer, your account manager, and then we will match them to our BMIDs, our catalog. So it's super easy for you to set up. You don't need to be taking pictures or getting all that information yourself. We're just matching them to the products in our catalog, and you add your prices and inventory and go from there. Next slide, please, Brennan. Awesome. So when you get started on Back Market, we have a kind of launching phase trial period to make sure that it's a good fit for you and a good fit for us to be have you selling with us. So after the new business developer gets your account all set up, you're passed on to an onboarding specialist whose full-time job is to make sure new sellers on our site are having a good experience, getting familiar with their site, and taking them through this period where they can to just get more sales growth and make sure they have high quality metrics, which will help them gain the buy box and get more sales. The second resource you'll have is a seller support center for 24/7 help, where you can log in and read a bunch of articles, FAQs about how to increase sales and any other questions you have. And then also add tickets if you have any issues with your catalog or any tech issues that will go directly to our team. So during your first week of selling on Back Market, you'll have a cap of 10 orders a day. Again, we just want to make sure that you're a good fit for us, and also as you're learning how to use the interface, you're not overwhelmed by hundreds and hundreds of orders. And then that cap will be increased as you continue to sell with us, contingent on everything performing well in terms of quality and sales. So this takes an average of around 21 days where the cap is continually increased. And then after that, you are passed off to a full-time account manager whose job is to, you're unlimited on sales, and your full-time account manager will be the main person to answer any questions, send you data on what's selling fast right now, and what's a good product for you to start selling, and then the rest is to infinity and beyond. Yeah, that's it.
Move on to our next slide. So once you guys are onboarded onto our marketplace, you're signed up with Lindsey. She's walked you through the platform, helped you set up your account, and discussed a bit of strategy for your launch. You guys will be moved into the launching period, which she just ran you guys through the details of. We wrote out some quick tips for you guys to think about how you can maximize your success during the launching period. And we've split it by two pretty simple verticals, both quality and business. On the quality side, like I mentioned, you're gonna want to make sure that you're maximizing customer satisfaction with a high customer satisfaction score and a low late response score. So this is all about how quickly you respond to customers and how helpful and relevant the responses are. Again, Back Care is our own customer service offering, and will allow you guys to wipe your hands of that headache, which is especially useful during a holiday season launch. Next, we're going to be looking for our sellers to minimize their defects with high quality testing and follow all of the guidelines on our charter. Make sure that you're using a software diagnostic tool. Make sure you're checking your devices when they first come into the warehouse and right after a customer actually places that order, so you can make sure that the device is still in the same shape it was when you originally put it on your shelf. These sorts of operational improvements will allow you to drive great quality and drive more profitability for your business on all of your channels at the end of the day, which is positive, of course. We're going to require on-time shipping. Make sure you're shipping products within 1 business day. If you guys got an order that came in before 1 p.m., you want to ship it out that same day before 1 p.m. We need these devices to get to customers on time. And we also, again, have our back ship service available to help you. It'll print out labels for you. It'll arrange pickups for you and make sure that you guys are getting your devices to customers on time. And then lastly, we have these great grading toolkits that'll help you ensure that you are compliant with our aesthetic guidelines. We literally walk you through with photos how to grade each device according to the 3 different grades that we have available. And it'll even allow you guys to print those out, put them around your warehouse, and make sure that the team is completely on the same page about what's going on in those toolkits. Next, when it comes to business, we encourage our sellers to get started with their entire catalog. Our top performing sellers that are doing a couple $1 million a month with us right now are managing hundreds, if not thousands, of listings. We put 25 here as an absolute minimum. But at the end of the day, the more buy boxes you have, the more visibility that you're going to have on Back Market. If you're not on the buy box, you're not going to sell that product. So increase your chances by listing all of your relevant renewed electronics across all of our grades that you feel comfortable that you guys can really guarantee great quality for. Next, just to rephrase, good quality, the better your metrics, the more buy boxes you'll get. You will always be rewarded for great performance there. Buy box pricing will fluctuate throughout the day, as you guys can imagine, on any of your other marketplaces. So it's really important for you to be monitoring your listings on an hourly basis, or using or if you have a repricer available through the integration that you have with us, for example, Seller Cloud, that allow you to have a little bit of another kind of competitive advantage. But we are also working on rolling out a repricer to all of our sellers. That's coming soon. Business, again, attention to detail. One of the most common issues that will start to impact a seller's quality with us is sending out the wrong product because your listings are set up incorrectly, or there's somewhere where the warehouse team is not aligned with the team that's bringing in the orders. So making sure that you're auditing your listings on a regular basis is super key. And then lastly, Affirm, a free standard shipping option and a fast paid shipping option are required for conversion. So we're upfront about Affirm, we're upfront about the fees associated with PayPal, and we're upfront with why we require our sellers to do it. We're an industry leading marketplace, and it does not make sense for us to not offer payment in installments, considering that the average order value on our website is north of $300. And again, this is a customer who 60% of the time is buying refurbished for the very first time. So we need to offer them a great experience. And so that's it from me on this side. I'm going to go ahead and move us on to the next slide, which looks like a Q&A.
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Great. Natalie, thanks so much for doing that. I really appreciate it. I just wanted to call out and say thank you for answering all those questions so specifically and directly. I think that's been super valuable. And this has been great, guys. It's to see the comment section so active on this webinar. This is possibly the most active questions and comments. So I think it's showing that folks are interested in selling on back market and have a lot of questions about how the process works. I want to address very briefly. I think we've got a commenter, Ariel, that has a lot of opinions and thoughts about how the back market platform works and the way that it handles things for sellers. And I think that's the great thing about this area is like there are a bunch of marketplaces and you get to choose the ones that you use based on the offerings that they have for sellers. And back market, I think, has presented here that they've got a specific thing that they're trying to do that is unique and compared to the other marketplaces, and you get to choose which marketplaces you sell on. But I think from what we've seen from the wholesale side from our customers, I think maybe Josh or John mentioned further up in the comment section, that sentiment has kind of reigned true across the folks that we work with as well. As the ability to sell in volume on back market is really substantial, and that's why we see sellers flocking to back market and utilizing it, and why we're doing this webinar today. So if your goal is to sell more volume, they offer an access and they have rules and stipulations for how you conduct yourself on their marketplace, but you have the opportunity to sell in more volume. And if you don't like those rules, you can sell on other marketplaces. And I think they're pretty transparent about that. And I think that's the beauty of the competitive marketplace. So we're happy to work with them and work with other marketplaces, but we're really excited to see the things that they're doing and aggressively trying to do things differently than other marketplaces. So we think that's a great opportunity for sellers.
Ariel,
so.
we appreciate your engagement. I know that you are engaging with us on several levels. You have been for months, if not years. So we're familiar, we're watching your account, and I appreciate you being here this morning.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Brennan, again, to organize this webinar, and we're very excited to have you as a new partner. But we've been accomplishing a lot of things together already, and thanks for pushing also the IMEI with us, which is definitely an important matter for us as a marketplace, also for our sellers to facilitate this collection of IMEI that would, I think, change a lot of things on the refurbished, renewed market side. So yeah, thanks a lot again, and if anyone has any question, there's a newbies at backmarket.com, so we can definitely follow up with any question you may have, after this webinar. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you so much, everyone. We really appreciate our partnership with Back Market, and to add to what I was saying about how the integration works earlier, this is just the beginning. This market is constantly changing. The folks at Back Market know that, and that's why their marketplace is evolving and adapting to the changes in the market and adopting more transparency. And on the wholesale side, we're going to be doing the same thing. We're really excited about this aspect of sharing the IMEIs, because obviously we think it's something special that wholesale does uniquely well. But there are other things that are soon to come. So stay tuned, and we'll keep you updated with all those things. We've got links here for if you want to start a wholesale trial, or if you want to get in touch with these wonderful folks at Back Market. And thanks everyone for all the questions. Thanks guys for joining me on this.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Take care, everyone.
Thanks for coming, guys.
Bye-bye.